You're watching the North Carolina Basketball Show on Fan Media Network. I want to welcome in George Lynch, starter on the 1993 National Championship team and longtime NBA player. I'm Matt Doherty. I was a starter on the 1982 National Championship team and didn't play in the NBA. However, I did coach at UNC for 3 years from 2000 to 2003. George, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's great to see you again. I'm glad I'm not the only one with a ton of gray hair. What happened?
Hey, dealing with the kids today. I got a 15-year-old that's playing a lot of AAU basketball. That's what it does to you.
Well, it looks good on you. It looks good on you. George, let's discuss the recent games. Kentucky was the most recent game. Kentucky's off to a tough start. They played a tough schedule. They're now 1-5, which is the worst start in Kentucky history, dating back to, I think, 1926. Carolina won 75-63. What were your thoughts on the game?
You know, I was a little worried that when we started, Kentucky came out with a lot of energy, effort plays, rebounding the ball. It took until we wore them out inside a little bit before we were able to gain control of the game. But the guys fought back, finished strong. Might be a little bit worried once they get to ACC play. I don't know if they have enough perimeter shooting right now at this point early in the season.
Yeah, no, I think that's the biggest concern to me is perimeter shooting and then ball handling. We have up to this point, our assist to turnover ratio is negative, meaning less assists, more turnovers. We're averaging almost 16 turnovers a game. And having played for Dean Smith, like you and I did, assist to turnover ratio was always a huge topic. What do you think is, how can we fix that issue?
I guess a lot of film at this point. They about to go into ACC play. Guys are young with, not a lot of backcourt experience in the guard play. We're playing some young guys. I'm hoping that Leaky step up because he's a junior this year, has more experience than the guys who's playing, and show some of that leadership on the decision making.
Yeah, talk about leadership. You were what a great team, that 893 team, and you also played with Allen Iverson with the 76ers and went to the NBA Finals under former Carolina player Larry Brown. You were such a respected player at North Carolina and in the NBA. What types of conversations would you have with an Allen Iverson, or if you were at North Carolina? I mean, Love has a field goal percentage that is not very good, and yet he's one of the leading field goal attempt shooters on the team. He's taking the most shots on the team, and he's shooting 30% and 13% from the three-point line. So if you were a senior, how would you address Caleb Love? And when you played in the NBA, how did you address Allen Iverson? Now that's a different animal.
Well, now with my experience in all this gray, and I look back on it, he may not have liked the way I handled it my senior year at Carolina. It was one thing in mind, was to win a national championship, and we wanted to make sure everyone was doing it the right way. I wouldn't want to take away from his aggressiveness. I think that he has shown capable of making tough shots. But I would grab him by his collar and say, "Look, man, that assist to turnover is not a good thing." And but I would try and do it in a nice way. I would have a conversation with him.
You would grab the collar of a t-shirt, not of a polo shirt. You wouldn't grab the collar of his nicest shirt. So as nice as you could grab someone's collar, you would do it. Okay.
Yes. I would give him a little bit of tough love. I know he has good intentions to win the game, but those turnovers will be crucial in ACC play. You won't be able to come back from it. Dealing with Allen Iverson, the good thing about it was, Larry Brown got on him just as much as the other guys. And although Allen, turned the ball over some and took a lot of bad, he only shot 25%.
25%.
He shot 25%.
Golly.
A lot of people don't know that. So the good thing for me, though, because I was an offensive rebounder, I knew I was going to get shots. So I didn't mind him taking shots. So those 5 or 6 offensive rebounds a game that I got, Coach Smith told me back in the day, if you get an offensive rebound, you can shoot it. I don't care where you are. So although I didn't abuse that privilege, I did go to the glass a lot.
There you go. Yeah. No, sometimes I think with this Carolina team, sometimes the best offense is a missed shot because they are so big. And especially, I think that late in the game against Kentucky, Kerwin Walton made some big shots. He's shooting almost 42% from the three-point line. As I look back on my notes here, the tip outs on missed free throws at the end of the game really broke Kentucky's back. And Kerwin Walton went on a 9-1 run, and Kerwin had 8 of those points. You and I were kind of laughing before we got on the air. We've been tipping back on foul shots, missed foul shots since I played, since you played. We still do it. I don't see many other schools working on it, and it probably gets us 2 to 4 extra possessions a game. How important was it to your teams at North Carolina with you and Montross? I mean, imagine a missed foul shot. I mean, Brian Reese, you play with Derek Phelps. I don't know if they were great foul shooters or not, but if you and Montross were pinning in on missed foul shots, you guys had to get a ton of extra possessions.
And we did. And big games, we got tip outs. Like you said, it's been going on for years. I think a lot of coaches don't spend time working on free throws. Coach Smith was a big believer. I'm sure Coach Williams worked on situationals. That's what we called it. And the details, if you can get 6 or 8 points a game in a close game, that's big.
Yeah. No. That was huge. Stepping inside with your inside arm up, and we always kept somebody at the top of the key and somebody at half court. So that's where you were tipping out too. Those little things are so huge, and that's where coaching comes into play. The other thing, I thought the defense on Olivia Sars, who's Kentucky's leading scorer, I believe at the time, I thought that Brooks did a great job on Sars and really made his life difficult. Again, you played at North Carolina with Montross, Salvadori, Matt Wenstrom. I mean, you talk about size. What does that do to an opposing team when you have that kind of size coming off the bench?
If the other team is not always in good rebounding position or box out position, or always trying to get that inside position, it's going to put them in foul trouble. Even the national championship game against Michigan, there were loose balls, 50-50 balls. Just because we had majority of the inside position, we were able to get fouls over the back, put them in a situation where they weren't playing with their starters. It baffles me that, in today's game, that Coach Williams has gotten away with it. It seems like you would put maybe a 6'8", 6'7" forward and try to run them and try to get their bigs out of position. But Coach Williams has done a great job of pushing the tempo, and teams allow us to throw the ball inside to our bigs, and that's a nail in the coffin if we're successful in doing it.
Yeah, I think that, with the game now has gone so small, there's the cat and mouse of, okay, you're going to play big. Now we're going to make your big, whether it be Brooks or Baycott, try to guard a tall, small forward out on the perimeter. And who can take advantage of whom the most is critical. So far, Coach Williams has done a pretty good job. Luke May wasn't a typical Carolina big man. He was really a step out forward, and that opened up the floor for some more driving and penetration. And Carolina now has gone back to the traditional lineup.
I think, not to cut you off, but I think Kessler is going to be key coming down the road in the ACC, because I've watched him play in Georgia last 2 years, and he's capable of stepping out. I'm not sure if he's comfortable at this point in his freshman year, but if he can hit that free throw line shot or the top of the key trail shot to pull that big out, he's capable enough to put the ball on the floor, 1 or 2 dribbles, and get to the rim.
Yeah, I said this early when they were playing in Nashville, and please dispute it if you feel that's your opinion. I felt that he has the best chance of being the best pro on this roster.
Oh yeah, definitely. I agree with that.
Okay, why?
Because he can put the ball on the floor. He has a feathery touch on the shot. He needs to hit the weight room a little bit more. And I talked to him. We practiced when I was coaching at Clark. We practiced at what's the school? We practiced at his school one time and asked the coach to let me speak to him. Melvin and I had a talk short.
You're trying to recruit him to Clark?
Nah. I knew he was too good for Clark. I knew it was too good for Clark. But he was, I talked to him. I watched him play a couple of high school games, and he can do all things that's capable of spacing the floor for us. I'm not for sure if he's comfortable at this time in his career. I know my freshman year, I wasn't comfortable with doing much outside of the offense until February. And that's usually, the game usually slows down for you.
Yes. No, that's funny. Well, you were referring to Melvin. Melvin Scott was your assistant coach. Melvin was on the 2005 National Championship team and on your staff at Clark down in Atlanta, right?
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. Well, good. This has been a lot of fun. Let's. One other thing that is a pet peeve of mine, George, and maybe because it was one of the only things I was good at, was feeding the post. I saw in the first 5 minutes of the Kentucky game, Caleb Love missed 3 opportunities to feed the post. Why is that such an issue in either with this team or in today's game?
I think today's game, AAU coaches don't know how to utilize post players. A lot of times when you play in AAU, most teams have all guards, so you don't work on feeding the post. So a kid like Love in freshman class who comes into Carolina, when you got post players like Baycott and Brooks, and you have to feed them. They have to get that 10 to 15 touches a game in the post for the offense to be effective. And that's whether he has the proper angle, working on taking that extra dribble.
Right.
It looks like when Love catches the ball, he's got one thing on his mind: and score buckets.
Right.
And I'm sure Coach Williams is trying to get him to choose when the time to be aggressive and when not to be aggressive. And it's going to take some time. It's probably going to take, like I said, January, February for him to figure it out.
Yeah. I was thinking, if I was coaching that team, the way Walton shoots the ball and Puff Johnson to get them more minutes, play tech, more minutes. But then, that hurts Love, maybe development, RJ Davis's development. That's the tough part of being a coach. You're trying to win the next game, but you're also trying to plan for March and in the future. But you mentioned something about Leaky Black, and Leaky's a pretty good ball handler and a pretty decent passer. There's something to be said for maybe putting the ball in his hands and let R.J. Davis and Love play off the ball and let Leaky be the primary decision maker, because he has good size to feed the post. He understands the offense. And then it frees those guys up, because it is hard. You know, it's not an easy offense or defense to pick up on. And so there's a lot thrown on these kids, and you're starting 2 freshmen. I started 2 freshman guards. No, I didn't. I started Jackie Manuel and Raymond. That was a freshman and sophomore. To start 2 freshman guards is very difficult.
Yeah.
My senior year, Kenny Smith was a freshman point guard for us, but we had Michael Jordan was a junior. I was a senior. Sam Perkins was a senior. Brad Doherty was a sophomore. And Kenny played for one of the best high school programs in the country at Malloy High School under Jack Curran. So he was well coached. He understood how to play. He was a smart and talented player. And if he needed some guidance on the court, you know, we were there to help him. So, but to start 2 freshmen is really a challenge.
Yeah, I think I don't want to put words in Coach's mouth, but I think what you said, starting Leaky at the point, since he doesn't look to shoot the ball, might be where we have our most success. And, you know, also find a way to put Kessler in there when you need to space the floor, because I think Kessler and Johnson with Leaky at the point, I think they will share the ball a little bit more. I'm not there to watch practices and see how they compete in practice, but that could be an interesting lineup.
To host a player show or appear as a player on a player show, simply create a profile on Fan Media's iOS app or website. Select your teams and make a short intro video on your phone. Show hosts, reporters, former players, and superfans can use our Get Verified feature and make an intro video as well, and our mobile newsroom staff will reach out.